Welcome to Collecting Chaos. It's time for Tuesday's Treasures. This comic book has absolutely nothing to do with today's episode. I just love the cover. I think it's one of Josh Middleton's best. Yeah. Let's get started. So, you kind of want to collect comic books, but you don't want the modern stuff, and you're not into superheroes, and you kind of want to get something a little more valuable, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. What do? Well, let's see. I have some comics here that are a little bit older, and some of you might think I'm just showing off, and yeah, I probably am. This is a Western comic. This is called Black Rider. It was from Atlas Comics, which is precursor to Marvel Comics. This is issue number 19 from 1953. And in this grade, it's worth about $18. So you can get a little bit lower grade comic and not spend a whole ton of money. Clean it. If I cleaned it up a little bit, maybe gave it a press, I might be able to bring it up to maybe $20. You know. So there's a thought, and we're going to get older as time goes on. Next, another comic from 1953. It's called Black Magic. This is a classic pre-code horror comic. It's done by Prize. This is from 1953 also. This is number 21. And in this condition, it's worth about $70. Again, a clean, maybe a press, and I might be able to get it up to maybe $75. I don't want to try to overstate my abilities. Or maybe you do like the DC Comics, but you just don't want the heroes. This one is from 1952. It definitely needs a clean and press, and is going to receive it because this is going to go into my permanent collection. Because I collect DC national comics, national periodicals. This is number 26 from 1952. And in this condition, which is good, kind of, maybe $10. All of these will go up in value in time. No question about it, just because of their age. Or maybe you like something different. You like funny animal comics. And we got this one. And I'm sure I've shown this book to you before. This is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 108 from 1949. And this, in this condition, runs about $30. So we're getting to a little bit more expensive. A little bit older, a little more expensive, but definitely not out of anybody's price range if they just want to put a few dollars away a week and then invest in comics maybe once a month. If you bought one of these every month for $30, that's $1 a day. You're spending $1 a day on comic books? Pretty cheap hobby. But you're only buying one a month, and you're buying something that's going to be a guaranteed increase in value, even in the mid to lower grades. Next up, this is a lower grade comic. This is from 1948. Rangers Comics, number 40. Like I said, from 1948. It's published by Fiction House. Nice bright colors on it. It's a low grade copy. It's got spine splits all up and down. Could use some repairs. I'm probably not going to do it. And these comics are starting to go up in value a little bit. I may clean this up. I might do a little minor repairs to it. I haven't decided yet. Probably won't, like I said. In its current condition, $15 to $20. I'd put $18 on it if I was going to sell it. I would start the bidding at $18 if I was going to sell it. So, and I have these little tags on it, so just to remind me of the values and when it was published. Next up, maybe you like the old comic strips. Here's a Dick Tracy monthly, and this is in really bad shape. I would consider this fair to good. And, you know, $7 from 1948, a $7 comic. That's not bad, but it's in really bad shape, like I said. So let's go to 1947, and this one is in a little bit better condition. This is Red Ryder Comics number 50. And in this condition, I would judge maybe $12. It's still good to good plus, but yeah, I'd say about $12 for this. These are great stories, by the way. I love the Red Ryder comics. Or you like something a little different. Here's also from 1947, Patsy Walker comics. Now, Patsy Walker, this goes into the Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics owned this at the time. They weren't called Marvel Comics then, but they owned it. This is number 12 from 1947, and it's worth about $25 in this condition. Neat stuff, huh? Again, less than $1 a day to buy a Patsy Walker in about that time frame. 1947, Don Winslow of the Navy. Maybe you like war comics. I don't know. This is from 1947 also. This is number 45, Fawcett publication. Nice, bright colors. Presents really well. It's worth about $22 in this condition. This is Crazy Comics, number 18. This is from 1945. This is a wartime comic. It's in really bad shape. I mean, it's really rough. And the thing is, if it hadn't had this tape on there, it wouldn't be in that bad a shape. It would be in a lot better condition. And I might try to remove that tape. I haven't decided yet. The comic book definitely needs a clean. Will I do it? I don't know. Probably not. In this condition, it's worth about $20. I'll probably just leave it alone. Let's go back even further. This is from 1942. This is Tip Top Comics, number 71, from 1942. Nice looking comic. Definitely needs a clean. I probably will clean this up. $30. You can buy a Golden Age comic from 1942 for $30 if you look around and you're willing to accept a little bit lower grade. Let's go to something a little more expensive. This is my oldest comic. This is Ace Comics number 18 from 1938. I consider this to be a fine copy. I mean, definitely a mid-grade copy. $120, $125 maybe. You're getting into more expensive comics when you start looking at this stuff. But it's got Blondie, it's got Believe It or Not, it's got Jungle Gym. Obviously, it's got the Katzenjammer Kids. So, yeah, it's good stuff. A little bit more expensive, but you're talking $4 a day instead of $1 a day. Yeah, you could afford it. If you're careful with your money, you can afford the more expensive stuff. This isn't even a Golden Age comic. This is a Platinum Age comic. Because it's prior to it came out before Action Comics number 1. So there you have, that's Golden Age stuff. But let's say you do like the superhero stuff, you just can't afford what they want to charge for it. What do you do when you get a coverless comic? How do you know which one is which? Well, I have a way of doing that. And I have a small stack here that are going to go into my collection, by the way. I'm going to start with this 80-page giant number 13. Now, what I did was I went online, I found a picture of 80-page giant number 13. Not a hard thing to do. Almost every comic out there has the cover somewhere online. You just have to know where to look. And I printed it out on my black and white printer in grayscale because I didn't want anybody to think I was trying to pull a scam on them by doing a color copy. And this also immediately lets me know that I need to upgrade this copy at some time in the future. This is from 1965. It's number 13. It's 80-page giant number 13, starring Jimmy Olsen. In its current condition, it's worth about $3. A 9.2 near mint copy, you're talking about $300. So a coverless copy is worth maybe 1% of the near mint price. Easily affordable. Takes almost no ink at all to do that. That will go in my collection until I get a better copy. And then it'll probably still be in my collection because, you know, why would I sell a coverless comic unless somebody wanted it? This is an Aquaman number 14. Now this actually has the cover, but I want to show you why I went ahead and printed a different one and put it on over there. Look at how bad a shape that comic is in. The cover is just trashed. Still technically fair to good condition, so it's worth a little more than it would be if it was just coverless. It's worth about $4 in this condition instead of the $2.50 or so that it would be worth if it didn't have a cover at all. But I'd prefer to look at the black and white cover to that nasty looking other one. So there you go. That's, you know, again, very affordable Silver Age comic. And all of these I'm showing you are Silver Age. Batman number 131. Again, a coverless comic from 1960. Printed out a cover. It can sit in my collection. I do collect Silver Age and back regardless of the title. In this condition, it's actually worth about $7. A near mint copy would be about $700. So yeah, go ahead and find. As I was saying before my camera so rudely decided to shut me off, yeah, go ahead and find a copy for $7 if you can. A coverless copy. Print out a cover and stick it in your collection. Better than not being able to get one at all, right? Especially if you're a Batman collector. Next, Superboy, number 107. This is from 1963. Not worth a whole lot in this condition. Not worth a whole lot at all anyway. It's only, it's in near mint, it's maybe a $165 comic, which means it's about, you know, it's under $2. You know, $1.65, $1.50, something like that for a coverless copy. That's fine. You know, that's okay. We can do that. Let's take a look at the next one, and this is the last one. World's Finest Comics, number 99. This is from 1959. To buy this in a near mint condition, if you could find a near mint copy, it would run you about $600. That's ungraded. That's raw. A raw copy, you might be paying a couple of thousand for it. 1959 comic, coverless. Print out a cover, throw it in front of it. You might pay $6 for it. Yeah. No big deal, right? $6 for a 1959 comic. Or $5 for a new comic. That might be worth $5 tomorrow and $5 the next day, and in 5 years might be worth $3. In 5 years, this might be worth $10. Just saying. You have to decide what your priorities are. And like I said, this has nothing to do with the show. I just love this cover so much. I had to show it again. So there you go. That's some alternatives to collecting. Some different things you can do You find that coverless comic, you'd kind of like to put it in your collection, but it doesn't have a cover and you have no idea what to look for to find a covered copy. Go ahead and print out a cover, and put it in front of it so that you at least know what it looks like. And you have a placeholder in your collection for that comic. Doesn't hurt it. You can read a coverless comic. Just can't look at the cover, but you can damn sure read the comic. That's it for today. I hope it gave you some alternatives in your collecting. You can absolutely afford Golden Age comics. Maybe not the Supermans and the Batmans and the Flash and stuff like that, but you can afford some other ones. Maybe not the pre-code horror that we would all love to have, because you're talking some big money there. But even those in lower grades, let's say you find a coverless copy of that. I'm sure you can find a cover, print it out, boom, there you go. Don't send it off to get graded. Don't do that, no. Unless you want to have it graded coverless. But yeah, there are ways to collect that can afford your lifestyle and your budget. You just have to go there. You have to look at it. You have to see what it is. With that being said, I think that's going to be the end of this video. Make sure before you handle your comics, you wash your hands. It's good for your comics. Most of all, it's good for your health. And we'll see you tomorrow when we do our Eternal My Light project. Yeah, we're going to do Eternal My Light project tomorrow.